Good morning, and welcome to the Women's Coffee Club. This club, we created this to provide a safe space for women to share and inspire each other and learning from a different host each week. And this week, we're very fortunate to have Arlene to be presenting how to overcome fear and get unstuck. So Arlene, so grateful for you and all of you to be here. If you want to introduce yourself and then tell us why you decided to choose this topic, please.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to start by sharing my document because my intro is in there. So I know you guys know me and I've been around for a while, but I figured today I wanted to share a little bit about my background to kind of make it make sense. Like, why am I doing these things? Many of you may not know where I am from. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? You seeing my screen? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes, I'm seeing it.
So yeah, we don't see like an enlarged, we can see your tabs on top.
Okay.
You gotta go slideshow. I think that's what it is. Let's see.
1 second. It's loading. Okay. Beautiful. So the topic is overcoming fear, like Rennie said, getting unstuck. And I've written a book by that same name, the same title, Overcoming Fear, Getting Unstuck, and Living Your Best Life. And it was after COVID-19. It was during COVID-19 that I started. And I had been wanting to write a book for a couple of years, about 3 years, but I just wasn't able to do it. And then during COVID, I was able to sit down and within a week, basically, just write a book. And it really struck me because I said, now, how is it that I wasn't able to do something that I really wanted to do for 3 years, but yet all of a sudden now I can do it in 5 days? It was like amazing to me. But it did happen. And so it got me on this journey where I said, wow, I wonder if other people are also stuck and also having challenges with fear, just like I was. And maybe I can be of some help. So I cannot see you guys, but I can see my screen. And I'm not sure why that is. But
We can't see your screen.
You can see my screen?
Cannot.
No?
No, you're not sharing anymore.
Oh,
No.
dear. Okay, so let's keep doing this.
Call from sister.
We did before though, Arlene.
Okay, and that's why we tried this out ahead of time to make sure that everything worked. So let's try again. I think.
Share your screen first. Okay.
You see my screen?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. And then I'm going to go where now? Okay, here we go. View. View, view, view. And this should work. I guess we should have just left it up when we did it this morning, Rennie. All right, so basically, there are 4 questions that I'm going to be asking you at the end of this presentation, because it's not just about me talking, but it's about a win-win for all of us. And so if you've thought about these questions before, great, awesome. If you haven't thought about these questions before, then I'm giving them to you ahead of time so that you can think about them and think of some of the answers that you might have to the 4 questions. So we're going to start it that way, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So the 4 questions that I'm going to ask you at the end are, what do you want? Okay. Why do you want it? Whatever it is that you do want out of life. What are you willing? Why don't you already have it? Okay. What are you willing to do to get it? And then the last question is, what obstacles do you think are going to come up? Those things that would cause you to be afraid. What do you think is happening that would cause you to have an obstacle to overcoming that fear, or an obstacle to accomplishing that goal? So that's where we're going to start. And I like to call that the glass ceiling. So we're going to begin. So who am I? And why am I doing this? So a little bit about my background. Many of you know me for a while, but you may not know that I'm actually Jamaican. So my family's from Jamaica. And so I'm going to play a little bit of reggae music for you. Okay. So actually my uncle is the ambassador to the United States for Jamaica. My cousin actually is Erna Broadbent, who is a poet laureate and a linguist. And she just received a $165,000 award from the Yale University to do her sociological studies and all of that good stuff. And why am I sharing some of this with you? Because it's about my history and it's about where I'm from. So there was a gentleman and he came from Scotland during the potato famine. And there he is. And he went to Jamaica and he married a beautiful lady who was from Jamaica. There were two sons that went during the potato famine. So one left and went back, but the other one found this beautiful woman. He married her, and that would be my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother. So I play a little bit of Scottish music for you. Okay, so you get the vibe. All right. Moving right along. So my mom was the vice president of our neighborhood association. She received awards from every branch of government, but she always wanted to get to New York from the Jamaica West Indies. And so she worked really hard. She couldn't go straight to New York. She had to go to England first, and then she went to Canada, and then she came to the United States, but she couldn't stay. So she had to go back to Canada. And then finally, she came to New York City. And her time here was all about empowerment because she had worked so hard. And this is her getting an award from the local congressman and also from the National Council of Negro Women, because that's where her heart was. So I always grew up with this sense that, you know, I needed to accomplish things and I could go far and I could do things and help people. So I was a radio show host on 1190 WVOX, and I was doing projects with the local leaders, and I was president of a chamber of commerce. And I was moving and shaking. And here's me with New York City Mayor Bloomberg when I worked for the New York City Council. And here's me doing a foreclosure seminar to help people who have homes and were having difficulty in terms of losing their homes. I did it with the Attorney General of New York State and with the local congressman. And here's me with President Obama when I worked with him, and Congressman Meeks, and you guys all know the other guy, so I won't mention his name. And here's me with the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. So I'm moving and shaking and doing things. And it's an exciting time for me. And I believe that I'm fulfilling my purpose and I'm doing what makes my family happy, because that's where I'm from. That's the history and the culture. Here's me with President Obama, and here's the Prime Minister, former Prime Minister of Jamaica, when he came to visit the United States. And also Maxine Waters, our elected official here in California. So I'm doing all these things because I feel like this is my background and this is what I'm called to, and that I have a purpose and I have no fear. You know, I'm doing what is a part of my heritage and my culture. And all of a sudden, everything went dark. I got divorced. My beautiful 2.5 children and my white picket fence, all a crash, all a bust. I was hired for an executive level position where I was recruited out of 300 people to go clear across the country. I got fired. But not only did I get fired, I got publicly fired. They put my picture on the front page of the newspaper, and across my face, it said fired. Subsequent to that, my mom, who had never been sick, I'd never seen her in the hospital. My grandmother was 103 at the time. All of a sudden, she came down with an incurable disease. So she would go 6 laps around the track. And I watched her. I watched her not be able to go from the bedroom to the bathroom, and all the things that are involved with seeing someone die. As an only child, I sat and I watched her die, basically. And I was stuck for 3 years. I did nothing. I mean, I took care of my kids. I ate, I drank, I slept. but I was basically in fear. Okay. Fear of everything. Fear of getting a job, fear of going out, fear of getting into a romantic relationship, fear that they were going to get me. I was definitely drinking the fear Kool-Aid. So for 3 years I sat, and it led me to look for a way out. And finally, I found coaching, life coaching. And that's what leads us to what we're talking about today. 10 secrets to overcoming fear, getting unstuck, and living your best life. That is the backdrop under which I wrote this book. And I used the 10 secrets that I found that helped me to get up. I chronicled them in the book, and I share the book with you today. And I ask you to partake in the book and share the book with other people so that you can help them, because you never know who's in fear and who's stuck and who needs help. Because with all the things that I was doing, people would have thought, well, she's not going to be stuck. She's not going to be in fear. I had good parents, I had a good family, and yet I was still afraid. I had good academics, you know, all the way on up to credits toward a doctorate, but I was afraid. Okay, I was stuck. And so many people say, well, if I had the right family, or if I had the right tutelage, right academics, or if I had the right people. But I'm here today to tell you, we're all scared. Okay, we're all operating from a place of fear, but no more today. So why do you say everybody's operating in fear, Arlene? That's not necessarily the case. So I did a little research, and I found that the top fear that we have is actually this fear of failure. But there are so many fears: fear of death, fear of being alone, fear of all sorts. And there's a lovely link here that goes to all of the fears, and they're listed, but I don't think it's going to do it. So I'm going to maybe go right back to where I was because I don't think it's going to show you the list of fears. But in addition to that, I wanted to tell you, what is fear? So here you see the lady, she's sitting on the edge of the building and she's about to jump. And sometimes I feel like fear is a little bit like that. We feel like we're sitting on the edge. The policeman is right above us and he's watching, and we feel like we have to jump. So the words in the Bible, fear not, appear 175 times. A lot of people say 365 times to correlate with the 365 days, but specifically fear not, do not be afraid, 175 times. In this link that's not opening, it lists a whole slew of fears and to what degree the country is suffering from these fears. So this is a relevant topic, not just for you and for me, but in our country as a whole. A lot of us are experiencing this thing called fear. And the reason why it's in that Bible so often is because it's something that is affecting us regularly. So what is this thing called fear? I say fear is like a lucid dream. So here's the woman waking up. And why do I say that? I say because during a lucid dream, you're asleep, but you feel like you're awake. Okay. And then when you do wake up, it's as if the dream is still a reality. So it's not real, it's false, but it feels like it's real. Okay. And I feel like fear is the same way. It is false evidence appearing real. So it seems clear, it seems factual, but it's really not. It's just our emotions, and it's the way that we feel about a situation. And we don't have to feel that way. We can make choices to feel the way that we want to feel, or the way that we choose to feel. And remember that our thoughts control our feelings control our actions, and our actions control the results that we get in the world. So it's up to us to begin to choose the thoughts that we want to have, so that we'll have the right responses. So I'm here to give you 10 quick secrets that we can use in order to overcome that fear and get unstuck. So let's start. Secret number one. Secret number one is clarity. Being clear. Who are you? Where are you? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Okay. Everybody talks about clarity, but it really is that important, because the thoughts that you have are going to be reflected based on where it is that you want to go. So or there's a proverb and it says, ask and it will be given to you, knock and the door shall be open unto you, seek and you'll find. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks on the door will be open. So if we want to achieve a goal, a vision, a dream, we have to know exactly what it is. So I lived in New York City. Now I live in California. A lot of people think it's LA, but it's actually in the San Francisco area. When a plane is on its route from New York City to San Francisco, most of us don't realize this, but it's off course most of the time. It's actually not a direct flight. And so it's the same way with us in our lives. We have to be clear as to the location that we're going to, but keep in mind, breathe and relax and know that we'll be off course much of the time, but it's okay. We don't have to be afraid as long as we're clear as far as the destination that we're looking to go to. So that's quickly secret number one, clarity. Secret number two, visualization and affirmations. Without a vision, the people perish. So if we don't have that clear vision or that clear headspace in terms of where we want to go, we will perish. And another quote is, happiness begins with your thoughts. So I started a networking organization, a networking company in New York City. And many people told me that it would fail. As a matter of fact, a man looked me in the eye, a mature person in the community, and he said, this will fail, don't do it. I mean, how's that for encouragement? So anyway, I had to visualize myself being a leader in this community. After my divorce, I had come back home. So I had never worked in this community. I knew I loved the community and I wanted to be a part of the business community. And I was using my experience from where I lived before to bring it to this neighborhood. But I had to see it, and they couldn't see what I could see. But guess what? The vision, the plan, the goal is not for other people. So a lot of us are waiting for them to see the vision so that we can begin and get excited. But guess what? The vision wasn't given to them, so they can't see it. We have to visualize it. And that's an important piece in getting unstuck and releasing the fear. We can't wait on other people to see our visualization or to say our affirmations. We want others to affirm us. A part of this book and a part of my journey has been just that, realizing that many, if not all of the things that I accomplished were against the odds, were against people's backdrop who were saying to me in the field, oh, this doesn't make sense, or you can't do this. Nevertheless, I had a successful networking event and a networking business, and some of those same people, community leaders, elected officials who initially told me this will not work. Guess what, guys? They joined in. Okay, first they reject you, then they laugh at you, and guess what? Then they join you, okay? So visualization and affirmations, momentum. Another thing that I did when I had this business is to begin. I just did it. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know all the details, the wheres and the why fors, but I knew I had the vision. I knew I had seen it in my mind's eye, and I knew I was going to accomplish it. And so even though in the natural, I couldn't see it, I kept seeing it in my mind's eye. I kept rehearsing it, and I kept doing the things, taking the steps needed to implement it, even though I didn't know all of those steps initially. So a quote about momentum: an object at rest remains at rest, an object in motion remains in motion. And this was key because during those 3 years I was stuck. I wasn't moving, I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't going anywhere. I was sitting in the space. Somewhere along the journey I had heard, you sit in the peaceful place and you wait for the voice of God or the voice of the universe, or it will come to you. Well, guess what, guys? Nothing came to me. Okay, nothing came while I was in the silence. Okay, maybe you can sit in the silence for a day or two, but 3 years, no, don't sit in the silence. Begin. Momentum was one of the secrets. Once I began moving, other things came to me. So the first thing I did was teaching. Now, that was not what I should have done, but it was something. It made me get up out of bed and go somewhere. And I was helping the young people, and I was teaching government, okay, and social studies to high school students. And it was actually the students that said to me, Miss, are you some kind of motivational speaker? Because I was talking to them about their lives and enriching their lives and enhancing their lives. And I really didn't want to talk about the Olmecs and the Roman Empire, but that's what I was there to do. So even they could see it. And they would say to me, Miss, is this something else that you want to do? because you're not really that excited about the Romans. So I share with you momentum. Secret number 3, whatever it is, do it, get on it, and people will come to you. People will speak to you and help you to be guided along the way. And this is poignant. These secrets are in order because a key piece is that we're waiting to have all of the pieces of the puzzle to move. Well, I'm not really sure. Well, guess what? No one is sure. President Obama didn't know that he was going to win. The Apple man, when he started the great company of Apple, he didn't know that it was going to work out as well as it did. When Elon Musk started SpaceX, it was all in his head. He said, I'm going to have a bus to the moon. If I were his mom and he told me that, I would have said, maybe you should do something else, darling. But he did it, right? He had a bus going to the moon. You can too. What's your bus going to the moon? Get started. Momentum. Secret number 4, really quickly, because I know time is of the essence. Proximity. Are you in close proximity to the thing that you want to accomplish, or the people who are accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish? The quote is, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise. It's actually a proverb. And another one is proximity, nearness in space, time, order, or occurrence, or relationship to the thing that you want. So the secret is, and all of these secrets are in the book, and obviously a lot more detail, and I have a whole program about this, but I just wanted to give you briefly the overview of what these secrets are so that you can use them and run with them. And also go get the book so that you can have all of the details. And at each chapter at the end, I give you examples or exercises and activities that you can use to implement each of these 10 secrets. So proximity, getting close proximity with who you want to be with. And this was a secret because when I was doing politics, it was actually a joke. Someone laughed at me when I said that I wanted to work with the president of the United States and said I was having visions of grandeur. Like, why would they want to work with you? You're just a regular person. You're a girl from the Bronx. But I started getting around those people. And so I started seeing what they do. What do they eat? Where do they go? Who do they speak with? What kinds of thought processes are they using? What activities are they doing? And then I began to match it and mirror it, so much so that when I came back to my community, people said, you've changed. Well, you know what, guys? I didn't change. I really didn't think that I had changed. But internally, my eyes had been opened. We hang around with the people who make us feel comfortable. Our friends are just like us. Okay, so we have to step outside of our comfort zone in order to accomplish the goals and the dreams that we haven't yet accomplished. And the reason why we haven't yet accomplished them is because we haven't truly stepped out. And if it's not terrifying for you, what it is that you're endeavoring to do, then that's probably not your ikigai. That's probably not it. It's something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable so that you have to stretch yourself and move into another space. So that's proximity. And I'd love to talk with you more about it, but I know time is of the essence. Healthy eating. This was key. While I was stuck, I was eating chips. I was eating dip. I had always had a healthy lifestyle. You guys know donuts. I had this thing with my kids. Donuts means do not eat. But during that season, those 3 years where I was stuck, I ate everything. I love chips. I ate ice cream. I ate it all because I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't doing anything progressive. And I really wasn't around people who were progressive. Whereas before, when I was pushing and I was around these successful people, guess what? I was running 5 miles a day. I was exercising. I was eating differently than the masses. So people say, it doesn't take all of that, Arlene. You don't have to do all of that. Well, guess what? If you want to do something extraordinary, you have to take extraordinary steps in order to accomplish the extraordinary acts. So these people are different. Why? Could it be because they're actually different? Could it be because we're actually doing different things? So if you look at yourself today versus yourself 20 years ago, if there are some things that you've accomplished now, you had to do certain things in order to shatter that glass ceiling. So the way that you think today, hopefully, is not the same way that you thought 20 years ago. Hopefully, you have new beliefs that have caused you to stretch and caused you to grow. Okay, new doors that have opened to you. Hopefully. And if not, I'm inviting you to take the journey today. So healthy eating was secret number 5. Oh, did I tell you the quote? No, I didn't. Hippocrates says, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. It is that everything matters. There's nothing that doesn't matter. And a lot of people say, well, I can excel in this area, but in this area, I can slack off. No, every area counts. Everything matters. I can tell you about the difference in my mindset. I can tell you about the difference in my eating when I was moving and stretching and growing versus when I was doing nothing. Next one, focus. Okay, focus is what you want to accomplish. Focus on what you want to accomplish. It says starve your distractions and feed your focus. So what do we need to do? Constantly talk about the thing that we want to accomplish. And I love the example of the story of Beyonce. She was working and she said that she was working so hard one day. She didn't remember to eat lunch. She didn't remember to stop and eat a sandwich because she was so engrossed in what she was doing, her dancing and her singing. And this is what she was born to do. She didn't even get hungry. She didn't even focus on anything else. So that thing that you're doing, that you're focusing on, that you're working on, it should be so imminent. It should be so prevalent all the time that there's nothing else more important. You know, when I was doing politics, if you weren't talking to me about politics, guess what? You weren't talking to me. You weren't talking to me. Now, a lot of the people that I spend my time with are business owners. A lot of the people are talking about how to overcome fear, how to get unstuck, how to live a better life. Those are all my friends. Those are all the people that I'm associated with because that's what I'm focused on. Whatever you focus on grows. Where energy goes, grows. So I'm not telling you things that you've never heard. I'm just reminding you of some of these things and imploring you to put them into action. So next one, focus. Secret number 7, write the plan. And remember, I told you these secrets are in order. There's a reason why write the plan is number 7 and not number 1. Many people start out with write the plan, write the vision, make it plain. So that's the quote. But no, if you're somebody that's prone to get stuck, guess what? We can live in this space of writing the vision, of setting the plan, of doing the orderly structure, of getting everything right. Guess what? It's not about getting everything right. It's about beginning. So do we need a plan? Yes. Do we need a flight plan to go from New York to LA or New York to San Francisco? Yes. But should that be the first thing? No. The first thing should be getting clear about where we want to go, moving forward, seeing it in our mind's eye, visualizing it, momentum, getting in proximity with the people who are doing it. And then afterwards, now you've gathered all of this information, you have all of these people, you're more in line with accomplishing the goal, then sit down and write the plan. So the proverb says, write the vision, make it plain. And secret number 8, environment. This is a big one. Right here on the side is a feng shui reel. So some people believe in feng shui, which is the study that the placement of items in the room actually impacts your energy. And so if the bed is facing, the bottom of the bed is facing the door, you're letting your energy out. So I'm not a feng shui expert, but it is consistent with this concept of environment. If you have a lot of papers in your area, if you have a lot, I'll just give you an example. I was very stuck. And as I said, I wasn't really going anywhere. And I was in my home and I had a lot of pictures up of my mom who had passed away, my dad who had passed away, relatives in my home who had, not necessarily people that I liked, but I had photographs of them up. Your environment impacts how we feel. It impacts your energy. So take a look around and make sure that everything in your environment is something that's pleasing and pleasurable and uplifting to you on this journey. Because everything matters. There's nothing that doesn't matter. It says the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's Albert Einstein. So if you've been if the home has been a certain way and you haven't been eliciting the result that you want, change it. Change it today. I give you tonight to think it over. Okay, change it. All right, move. Secret number 9, persistence in this journey. Stay focused and keep going. Do not get frustrated and quit. No one who puts his hand to the plow and turns back is fit for service in the kingdom. Be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded. So we have to believe that we'll be rewarded by the work that we do if we're consistent and persistent. So secret story, and I'm going to be really quick because I know we're at 30 minutes after. I wanted so badly to have a business. And I would get these jobs. And people would recruit me. I would get a $10,000 raise here and a $10,000 raise there. But I really wanted to have my own business. And as a matter of fact, I started my business. And the way I got into working for elected officials, I was doing marketing for an elected official. And he just sucked up more and more of my time till eventually I worked for him full time. And then I worked for somebody else. And then I worked for somebody else. But guys, my goal, my dream, my vision was to have my own business. Every time I got recruited and I got more money, I went to the job, right? And it wasn't until I got fired and I was sitting in that dark space for the 3 years, I was like, maybe I should start working in some other area. And like I said, I started teaching. And even the kids said to me, Miss, is there something else you want to do? Because this is not it. You're trying to talk to us about, motivation and helpfulness. And my business was a marketing business. What I really wanted to do was help people to grow and expand their business as well as their lives. And so I kept getting fired because that's not what I was supposed to be doing. I was big enough and strong enough to accomplish the goal and to do my business. But instead, my thoughts were telling me, well, this is steady money. This is more stable. This is easier. But guess what, guys? If you're not in line with your ikigai, no matter what you do, it will be hard. And even though your true ikigai or your true vision, your true goal will be a challenge to you, it's something that you enjoy. It's something that you love. And so the journey will be so much more smooth than you pushing the boulder up the hill to do something over here that's really not in line with your true calling or your true vision. So I had a job and I worked as a contract training manager. And in this capacity, the Harlem Children's Zone got contracts to help the kids to stay in school. So I would go to the people's homes, which shouldn't be really hard, sit down with them, talk to their kids and tell them to go to school. Shouldn't be that hard, right? Look in their pantries, make sure that they were healthy. Versus the second job that I had where I was working in politics and I'm sitting on street corners and I'm passing out materials and I'm trying to hijack people and get them to vote for my candidate. That should have been way more challenging than the easier job where I'm just sitting in people's homes and talking to them. But guess what? It wasn't, because I really didn't want to ask the people about what they were eating for lunch and how they were treating their kids. And so it was really hard for me and it was draining. They didn't want me in their homes and I didn't want to be there. But then the other job, although I was hijacking people on the streets, I was excited. I was excited about what I was doing because I felt I was making a difference, you know? So when you move in that ikigai, you get excited, guys. If it sounds like I'm excited, it's because I am. I'm excited about seeing you fulfill your dream, your vision, your calling, and be who you're called to be in the world. That is exciting. So persistence, no matter what it is, persist. And then the last one, secret number 10. Oh, there are all these people. There are all these people who exercise persistence. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison for the right to vote. My goodness, that was a lifetime. You guys may already have heard of a gentleman by the name of Michael Jordan who got cut from the basketball team, but he kept going. And so he was the greatest basketball player ever, even to this time. J.K. Rowling, you guys know her, the woman who did Harry Potter. She had to persist. Her books were canceled several times. They didn't want to take them. But now, look, this series is one of the hit series in the entire world. Elvis Presley, this one I didn't know. I knew about a lot about the other people. Did you guys know that Elvis Presley got fired from his first gig? They didn't like him. They thought he was too weird. So they fired him. This guy, Spielberg. Did you guys know that Spielberg was actually not accepted to film school? He's a genius. Mr. E.T. himself. So wherever you are, wherever you're sitting, I know it may seem like this goal, this dream, this vision is huge, it's big, but guess what? Persistence, and you'll accomplish it. Okay. And I'm on the journey too, along with you. And so I wanted to share with you that if you want to share with me your dream, your vision, your goal, I am definitely interested in helping you to accomplish it, just like I've had a lot of help on my journey in order to accomplish the goal and the vision. So what do? Right now, I do coaching. And like I said, the first thing that I do is a clarity session, helping people to get clear about what they want. Then I help them to visualize, which is the goal setting piece. Then number 3, which you can't see right there, but it is moving forward in the area that you actually want to move forward in, helping you to get started. 4, then we actually begin the coaching sessions. And of course, it's accountability, because a lot of times the piece of the puzzle that's missing for us is this accountability piece, where there's somebody coming alongside you, looking at what you're doing and saying, is this really the best use of your time, or is this a better use of your time? Could you spend some time with this person here that perhaps makes you feel a little uncomfortable and stretches you? Or do you need to really spend this time with, Sylvester and the gang? So I just wanted to share with you the different steps. And then obviously we do an evaluation, a pre-evaluation and a post-evaluation. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? And here's my contact information. You could go to askarleneshow.com, get my website. You can find me on social media at Ask Arlene Show, and there's my phone number, and my email address is arlene@askarleneshow. And so I want to go back now to the questions. So we've talked a lot about me, where I came from, my story, my journey. My question for you now in the last 20 minutes is, who are you? What is your goal? The 4 questions. Where do you want to go? Why aren't you there yet? What do you need to do to get there? And what has been stopping you? What do you think is going to be the biggest obstacle to you getting there? So who wants to share with me what it is that is your goal? What do you want to do?
Arlene, that was amazing. If you want to stop the share, I think it's easier to see you.
Okay.
That was amazing, Arlene. That was a great presentation. I love it. Yes, absolutely. It's a dream building process. Anybody has any question or comments that you want to say something? Please.
Thank you, Arlene. That was amazing. And I'm just sitting here being so grateful and nervous at the same time, because it's like everything you're saying, I resonate with, because I am one of those people who, gosh, I grew up in a different culture, and I never thought that, I didn't think that I was worth anything until I came to this country. And that's why I love secret number 4, because it's so powerful. It's about who you surround yourself with. And I have to say that because of the people that I surround myself with, I am here now, like you all, and the people in my yoga community. And so that is very, very powerful, because they always motivate me and they lift me up to be able to see that I have the potential to be able to awaken something in me. And I go back to my yoga practice, because the first person that really saw that in me was my yoga teacher, who kept telling me, Binta, you practice yoga very well, you can become a teacher. And I kept saying, no. It took me 3 years to decide to do that. And now I'm here. I teach yoga, and I can teach somebody how to practice yoga. What I want to do is become a leader. I want to become a leader in the world to set a good example that if Binta can do it, you can do it. And to do that, I am an entrepreneur. I'm building my own business. My business is now off the ground going. Again, it's having the nerves to believe that I can do it. This is just, sometimes I get fearful of speaking out and posting things, but I'm working on it. At least I got started. My business is called Dream Binta. I am dreaming because I want to make a difference in the world. I want to make a difference in my African community. I want to build a foundation so that the people back home can benefit. I know that there's a reason why God brought me here. I'm very, very lucky to be here. If you see my siblings and what they're going through and what they look like, you will think I am the younger. I am the younger one, but I am the older one. You would think they're the older one, but they're the youngest. But they look different because of the stress they go through. So I want to become a leader, and to do that, I want to create products that people can love, and people love that nourish their skin and also their souls. And I want to nourish people also with my voice. And that's why I always want to be able to motivate people, because everybody that come in contact with me, they lift me up. So I want to always share that and to lift people up. The way we can help each other is by lifting each other up, by encouraging one another to be able to make the person say, oh God, man, so I do have it in me. Or man, I came in contact with Binta or Arlene and I feel good, So I want to use the term, that impression of increase that I learned from Wallace D. Waddles, and meeting Valerie. And Valerie is one of the people that gave me such an impression of increase. And it's the reason why I am here with you all, and I'll never forget that. And Valerie knows. And the way my life is going, I'm just so grateful. I have a lot to learn, but I'm here. So thank you. I don't know if everything I said makes sense, but.
Linda, that's amazing. I remember when I first met you, how shy you were. Look at you. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Binta. Val, you're next.
Thank you.
Well, this presentation I really enjoyed, Arlene, because it really put order in my mind again and over again and again and again. And that's and by putting order in our minds that we reach heaven. You know, order is heaven's first law. So when I heard that, I want to create heaven on earth. That's my huge goal. You know, to be able to create heaven on earth and living like in heaven. And do not worry that your plan is not gonna maybe not being followed. You know, God says, do not worry, just get the plan going. You know, that is sometimes something that may take time because we need to put order in our thoughts first, calm down, reach that state of serenity to receive those insights, get silence, meditate. And not saying that meditate brings like, you know, law of attraction, la 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 la. No, it doesn't work that way. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. And you know, yesterday I had an incident, and I'm going to make a long story short, not to take the time for other, but my man and I went to walk his dog. That was the first time I met the dog. I don't have a dog, never had a dog, but with some dogs, I really communicate. You know, I feel their love for them, and, you know, I want to hug them, and she's a beautiful dog. So I'm falling in love with her, but she's like one of those little huskies. So she pulls when you go for a walk. And although, you know, my friend was like, he was told, don't bring the dog to the cities. This is a country dog. This is not a city dog. And he did it anyway. And then he asked me, he said, do you want to get the leash? And I said, yeah, I mean, I hold husky before. I lived in mountains, like no problem. By the time he gives me the leash, I tripped because, you know, uneven sidewalk in New Orleans, I trip, and I have very weak ankle. I kind of like twisted my ankle a little bit. It was not bad, thank God. That let me let go of the leash, and the dog started running away. Talking about fear, I'm like, this is the end of my relationship with this guy, because that's his daughter's dog, who told him, don't bring the dog to the city. And the women, I haven't met the daughters yet. And I would lose their dog. But I started running after the dog. And what I'm saying is, when we pray for miracles, when we connect with spirit and get clarity about what we want to think, you know, as I could see the dog going further and further away, I just asked God, please, an angel must stop. Something's got to stop, because that's the end of my relationship right there. And then the dog took a turn. So I didn't even have a visual of where she was. Well, guess what? When we arrived at the corner, very short time after, though, it was this woman with a dog, not the dog we were chasing, you know, not my dog, but her dog. And when she saw that dog kind of, you know, in distress, she said, well, maybe my dog, they're going to connect together. So she approached, and then the two dogs got together, and she managed to hold it. It was an angel around the corner. I pray for an angel around the corner. When she passed through and I had no more visual, the fear overcoming this thing of like, I'm losing it. This is the end of it. Because it goes in your mind, this is the end of it. And it wasn't. Miracles happen. And now I breathe. But yesterday I was in hell. I was not in heaven. So fear arrived at any moment, in any occasion, in any shape or form. And it's what's in there. What are we entertaining? Was I entertaining, I'm going to lose it, which I did, but you're going to knock that out. Knock those thoughts out. Say, get away. An angel is around the corner. And it was. So yeah, we are energy manipulators, I would say. And it's the truth. And Your presentation, Arlene, just put again order in my mind to keep doing this work. Always, always, at any moment, anytime, anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Val. That was amazing. Thank you for your share. Sue, you have any thoughts or comments?
Oh, first of all, Arlene, I absolutely loved your presentation. Thank you for taking the time this morning to do this. And your enthusiasm is like contagious. So I was glad I was on mute, because when you talked about when you were teaching the high schoolers and and they kept asking you, are you sure this is what you're supposed to be doing? I was laughing so hard. I just thought that was so cute. You know, kids will call you out on everything, right? Yeah, overcoming fear. I am an introvert and have mild anxiety by nature. Fortunately, I surround myself with extroverts, and my family is very extroverted, so I've never let that stop me. But I'd say every day I'm scared of what I'm going into every day, but I still go into it anyway. I don't let that fear stop me. But to hear you speak about it just kind of reminded me of, yes, don't let that fear ever stop you, because there's things I'm put on this planet to do, and I need to accomplish them, and I can't let my introvert ways stop me from doing that. So anyway, I just loved it. It was a great reminder of everything that I need to hear and rehear, because you can know these things and ignore them. And hearing a presentation like this is just that great reminder of, you need to keep this at the front of your mind always, even if you are doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. Step back and go, okay, what am I missing? There's 10 steps here. What am I not feeding of those 10 steps that I need to feed and nourish right now? So thank you. I absolutely loved it.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue. I didn't know, excuse me. I didn't know you're an introvert. Esther, do you mind muting let me mute it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know you're an introvert, Sue.
I hide it, but I definitely am.
We meet up and walk with Sue whenever she's in San Diego. But anyway, thank you for that. Lovelyn, you're next.
Well, Arlene, I could listen to you all day, all day. There's this fire that you ignite each time you speak. Each time I listen to you, there's this fire that you ignite on the inside of me. That's why I said that I could listen to you every single day. I love your presentation, and the point that struck me was the environment. The environment is very important. People we surround ourselves with, and one of them is this platform. The platform here, when we come here, the people we surround ourselves with, what we've learned from here is something I can't describe. You'll not believe that last year I met Sandra on this platform. September last year, the first time I saw Sandra, but it's like as if we've connected for the past 30 years. She has done so much work in me, to the point that I had this dream of, just like Binta, of registering a foundation back home and leading women, you know, to harness their economic power so that they can get involved in community activities and become economically independent. I met Sandra in September. By December, I registered that foundation back home in my country I come from. As I'm speaking to you right now, I have 400 women that have registered. It is a dream that I had. It is a goal that I have, but it's so scary to the point that each time they tell me that they want to see me on Zoom, I freak out. I'm like, no, I don't think I can do this. So it's exciting, and it is freaking me out big time. Why? It's because of this platform. Had it been that I wasn't in this platform, I wouldn't have known Sandra. My dream would have gone to the grave with me, to be quite honest with you. I've had it for years. I didn't know where to start from until I met Sandra. So your presentation is really good, and every point that you mentioned is really important, but the environment one is really, really key. The people that we meet and surround ourselves with are the ones that direct us to where we want to get to. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Lovelyn. That was awesome. I'm so glad that you met up with Sandra and now be able to impact others, you know, in Africa. Omeka, you're next.
Yeah, I'm kind of got to stay muted, and I was not present for most of it. So, but yeah, it's time for all of us to get unstuck and to release our fears and live our purpose. And yeah, so I will listen to the replay. And thank you.
Thank you, Omeka. So glad you're here. Kathleen, are you there? I'm going to pass over Kathleen for now. Kasia, how about you? Okay, pass over. Suzanne, I see you on mute.
I'm driving. Wait a minute.
Suzanne? No.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, good. I'm driving also, but I want to ask Arlene how she got involved in her Ask Arlene show.
How she get involved or how you can get involved?
Well, both. How she started it, because it's very intriguing, but also does she take on interviews? What does she do on her show? I'd like to learn more about her Ask Arlene show.
Go ahead, Arlene.
Okay,
About Ask
beautiful.
Arlene show.
I'm so glad you asked me that, Suzanne. At the end of the presentation, I had a little slide that was a gift. And the gift was part of us getting unstuck and living more courageously is to share our message with the world. So I do a television show where I share weekly on topics that I think are of interest, but I also invite other people who are leaders in our world and in our community to share on television what they're doing, what their projects are and their ventures. And I wanted to extend to you an invitation for you to share what you're doing on television as well. And so I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Suzanne, because I didn't remember to mention it. I would love to have you come on and share your project that you're working on with your community and let more people know so that they can be involved with you. And the invitation is to all of you, especially you too, who have a 400-member organization in Africa that you want to share with the world. Yes, Suzanne, absolutely. Thank you so much. You say God is so good because I didn't remember, and it's in the slide, but I didn't say it. So yes, I want you to.
I had a feeling I caught the end of it because I was working until 9:30, but I'm like, I want to know more about the Ask Arlene show because I might be interested in getting on it because my message needs to be heard. To so many women who think that they're lost, they have no hope in life, and I'm like, yeah, you do because I'm living it. I know you have a hope in life because it wouldn't be possible for me either if there weren't a hope in life for autistic women. And that's the big thing is I see so many women are like, my life is over. It's miserable. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. And I can help you, but you do have to take the first step. And that's the important part.
Yeah, that's amazing, Suzanne. You have such a great project. That would be perfect for Arlene, Ask Arlene show interview.
Thank you. Yeah,
We
Arlene,
only-
I could definitely get in touch with you. I can come on now. I'm parched. There we go.
That's awesome.
Those two things I want you to do. Everybody,
Okay.
go to askarleneshow.com. That's the website. Get the book and sign up to be a guest on the show. Subscribe. You have to subscribe, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. You're going to put in your information, but click on the link to be a guest on the show and also get the book because that has questions and activities regarding every item that we talked about today in detail. And then you also get the stories and, you know, not just myself, but other people like you guys who have accomplished great things and who have walked through these different steps. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, and it'll pop up on my phone when you register, guys. So I'm your accountability partner. I'll be looking for you.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so everybody go to askarlene.show.com.
Yes, I'll type it.
AskArleneShow.com.
Ask.
We're at the top of the hour, so thank you so much, everyone, for coming here and participating and sharing your stories. And Arlene, that was an amazing presentation, and your energy, like Sue said, it's contagious. You're awesome. I'm gonna turn it back to you again to close this out, but it's 8 o'clock right now. So Arlene, I'll give you the last word, but thank you again, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I want to say a special thank you to Loveleen and Binta. And even though Kim is not on here, she might watch the replay, and Tamara, and all of you ladies who have already purchased a copy of the book. It is validation for me when I put my heart and my soul and my time and my effort into something like this, where I really feel it's going to help people, and then people purchase it and give feedback to me. And you guys have given me feedback, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for your time today. And I ask you, like I said, to go ahead, go to AskArleneShow.com, get your copy, and also register to share your message that you have with the world. Thank you, Brittany, for
Thank you,
inviting me.
Arlene. Thank you. Next week is Tony Taylor, How to Get Your Mojo Back. So hope to see all of you there. Thank you.
Love
Have
you
a great
guys. Thank you, guys. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Answer the 4 questions for
Bye, y'all.
yourselves. Mwah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you.